Hello everybody, Stephen Howson, and this is a Sunday paper review. It is now 4:15. It's 1-1 in the Arsenal and City game. I've got it on the screen here, so if I keep looking over there, that's because that's quite interesting and quite pertinent to what's going on for the rest of the season. This will probably go out. I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to do. In my head, I always think I'll do 5 minutes. I never end up doing 5 minutes. But the way it takes processing and adding a thumbnail, all that bullshit, it's probably going to be the game will be over by the time that this comes out. So you guys probably know the score, and me back in like an hour and a half's time ago, I don't know the score. So let's get stuck straight into it. So I'm not going to be on here for ages. Fuck all of interest, in all honesty, in the papers today. I got a Sun, and I've gone for the Sunday Times, which is fucking huge, isn't it? I mean, there's no requirement for newspapers to just be that fucking big, is there? There's just no need for it. Absolutely no need for it. Absolutely no need for it. So the first thing that caught my eye was in the Sunday Times, really, and I hope this isn't by David Walsh, the chief sports writer, because this is the clunkiest fucking introduction you're ever going to see, and that, I include my own writing in that. I ain't no Shakespeare. I just write as I talk, and often comes out as complete and utter bullshit. But let me just read this first paragraph out to you. There are times you find yourself repeating what the former Leicester Tigers rugby player Matt Howson once said. Howson suffered a horrific spinal injury training with the England under-21s 11 years ago and has since been dealing with quadriplegia. He wrote about the struggle in his extraordinary biography, Engage. One sentiment stood apart. If you didn't laugh, you'd cry, he said. Now, is that like a bet to get someone's fucking name into an article or what? Because, yeah, I get it. If you didn't laugh, you'd cry. That's... some shit's pretty bad, and that is the clunkiest way to talk about. Do you know what he's talking about? Do you have any idea what he's talking about from that opening paragraph? Opening paragraph's supposed to set out what's going on, isn't it? This guy's the chief sports writer. That fella, I'm assuming. Chief sports writer for a big newspaper. David Walsh. Fucking unbelievable. Anyway, he's talking about the Russian Olympic Federation and their likelihood of getting back into the Olympics, despite the fact that they've been pulling rocks up and finding out everyone's on gear in the Russian athletics, including several gold medal winners from the London Olympics. It's an interesting article that just sort of... the subject's interesting, the article's a load of shit, let's face it. I'm amazed this guy's a professional writer, and that's coming from me. We've got a U in English. It's an interesting topic. As I said, the drugs in sport is huge news at the moment, and it's going to become even huger news in the very near future. And apart from that, you can imagine everything is dominated by Leicester. So what's going on here? We got a penalty? I don't think we got a penalty. I think someone just missed a sitter. Everything's dominated by Ranieri and by Leicester, and that's really about it. There's a little bit on Sunderland in the middle of this. I mean, I hate just searching through these. You can't just find something that you want to talk about. Jonathan Northcroft, who writes a hell of a lot of this in the Sunday Times, writes a little bit about pizza and Claudio Ranieri. They're digging up all that sort of bullshit now because they've got basically nothing to say. Big piece on Sunderland, looking like they're going to survive, which I think is good. Then this is kind of interesting. This is Jonathan Northcroft. I'll get this big bit out for you. Talking about how Pep's job just got harder, and we've been saying it for a while, haven't we? If these can cock it up here today, and we can manage to somehow get past West Ham, and it goes down to the final day, and we end up beating City into 5th place, for fucking starters, the scenes are going to be absolutely fantastic. Have I got paint on my head? I've got paint on my hand anyway, haven't I? I've been painting. And it's an interesting article because it's just discussing the sort of things that we've discussed for a while. Some of the players at City are absolutely fucking coasting it, and I wouldn't have thought Guardiola's going to stand for that. And it also mentions that the age of the players is not great. Yes, City have got some world-class players in their side. I mean, there is not a side in the world that wouldn't want Aguero. There's probably not a side in the world that couldn't be improved by Company despite his injury proneness. David Silva's a little magician. Kevin De Bruyne is a fantastic player. But beyond that, it's just a lot of fucking toss, isn't it? I mean, like they've still got the hangover, I think, from when they were signing players like Lescott for 24 million. I think they played 30 for Milner, didn't they? I'm not going to throw up in a bucket somewhere. So, he's not going to have the easy ride that he's had at the other clubs that he's had. Teams that regularly win the league almost unopposed. He is not going to have that at Manchester City, and if he has to deal with 5th place Europa League Thursday night football as well, it's not that he's a bad coach. I think he is a good coach. I think he's got frailties in his play, and there was question marks over his bottle, I think, that will get answered within the next 6 months, I think. Hang on, what's that going to put us? Yeah, November. Next 6 months, we'll probably know what's going on there. So, it's going to take him a while to make City adapt to his style of play, and that's the problem. We're not talking about young players. Young players can probably be easier moulded than players who've been playing a certain way for a long time. There's also this talk that he wants to jettison most of the fucking team and bring in like all these different world-class players. Well, 50% of transfers fail. That's a statistic. So half of the ones he's going to bring in aren't going to make it. Half of the ones are going to make it, and you have no idea of knowing which ones are going to pay off and which ones aren't. So you've got to look at the embedding of those players. You've got to look at those who are going to adapt to the system. The best thing he could do, would be bringing in someone either from his Barcelona or Bayern Munich days who can help bring the system to Manchester City's players a little bit easier. But whether that's going to be likely to happen, I don't know. Yaya Toure seems completely fucking phoning it in at the moment. I don't think he's playing here today. Doesn't look like he's playing here today. So completely and utterly phoning it in for City at the moment, which is nuts. There's only a couple of them on the right side of 30 for City, and that I think is going to be a big issue for him. We shall see what goes down, but yeah, it's going to be incredibly difficult for him if Thursday nights are thrown into the mixer as well, and it'd be very interesting to see how the press respond to him, because there's going to have to be a villain in the league next year, and if it's not Van Gaal, it'd be very interesting to see who it is. I reckon Wenger's probably going to get some serious shit next year as the press decide who they're going to start going for. I reckon it will be Wenger. And speaking of Wenger and Arsenal, see, that was almost like it was planned, wasn't it? It fucking clearly wasn't. Graham Souness has wrote a little bit of it's almost like a report card end of season review for all of the teams, really. And he says Lukaku could be Arsenal's missing link. Well, yeah, no shit. Arsenal on paper, as well as City, should have absolutely butt-fucked this league this year. They should have walked it so easily. And Arsenal, on the expected goals method, Arsenal are far and away beyond it. But they've always lacked that fragility. They've always had that missing backbone, haven't they? And it's because Arsene Wenger doesn't sign certain types of players or doesn't produce certain types of players. These players are made in his image, and I think there's a weakness inherent in Arsene Wenger in terms of like backbone and stuff. You say like Sir Alex Ferguson had his embodiments on the field of play, Brian Robson, Roy Keane, Eric Cantona. Latterly, we didn't really have that sort of monster in midfield, but we still had the likes of Vidic and Rio Ferdinand, players that would go through walls for him, even Rooney to an extent. There are no leaders in Arsenal team, and I think Manchester United at the moment are struggling a little bit with leadership. But Arsenal, the guy's been in charge for how many years? I think he's approaching 20 years next season, so that team should be looking pretty damn good. What's going on here? Someone's gone down injured. Doesn't look too good. It's that guy. Hopefully stays fit. 20 minutes gone in that game for anyone who's interested. Still 1-1. I mean, I don't know why you're watching this to catch up on what's happened with City and Arsenal. That's been probably behind the times. Souness asked the question, does he think Manchester United winning the FA Cup and becoming and getting into the top four would be good enough, assuming that we do get into the top four? Says that we've got a problem in midfield. Van Gaal doesn't know what it is, and I would agree. And he also mentions that someone like Kante would be excellent for us, and I agree on that front as well. And mentions that Chelsea have got their work cut out, or Conte has got his work cut out with Chelsea. That's an ageing side, and a side littered with bellends like Costa and Hazard and stuff like that. So that's not Souness' words, that's my words. And John Terry, which brings me on to the Sun. Let's get on to the Sun. So I didn't see anything of the Chelsea game yesterday, but it turns out John Terry ended up getting a red card, and it's one of the stories on the back page of the Sun. John Terry ended up getting a red card, which is going to put him out of his final game as a Chelsea player. But we fully expect him to end up on the pitch in full kit at some stage, won't we, after their final game of the season, which is, by the looks of it, no, it was against Sunderland that they just played, yes, so I'm not sure where their final game is going to be, and obviously, again, dominated by Leicester on the back page. Quite rightly so. Not so much. I remember United used to get a lot more coverage as champions, so many pictures and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if it's because there's been a lot of press about Leicester in the recent weeks that the press are actually becoming a little bit tired of it, perhaps, but I don't know. What's going to be interesting for next year is if there's any sort of we did it mentality with Leicester where they don't feel the need that they've got to fight like they did this year. That's going to be interesting to see because mentality can have such a huge part to play in sport. Richard Delat getting 2 medals yesterday, getting promoted and winning the league with Leicester. That's going to be a trivia question for years and years and years to come. And where is the article that I wanted to talk about in here? I can't find it. What I'll do is I'll go back to the Mail on Sunday because I just wanted to talk about the leagues. And some of the leagues around Europe have been won an absolute canter. Let's pull them out for you. The nightmare is that putting these pages together is a fucking nightmare, innit? So I have to get a degree in origami to be able to do this. Just fold it there. So they have like the rundown. Obviously got the Premier League rundown, and Leicester currently on 80 points, 10 ahead of Tottenham, who drew today. So they've now gone to 9 points level. Level on games, 9 points difference. Still 1-1 in that game, and currently 17 points ahead of United. We've got that game in hand on Tuesday night against West Ham, so all being well, we should go to within 14 points of Leicester. That's nuts, isn't it? But we are currently 15 points clear of champions. Not enough being said about that for me. So anyway, let's go back to, that's what I want to talk about, European football. So let's go around the leagues a little bit at the moment. Barcelona on 36, Atletico and Real Madrid also on 36 games. Barcelona and Atletico on 85 points with Real Madrid on 84 points. Now, much has been said about Barcelona's attack this year. MSN, the best 3 ever assembled, etc, etc, etc. Well, Madrid have scored more than them in the league so far this season. They've also gone further in the Champions League. So what do you have to say about that? I think it's interesting. I think there's a bit of an underration of Ronaldo, Benzema and Bale happening around the world at the moment. Well, people get far too fucking carried away about Messi, Suarez and Neymar, who, let's face it, are not shit, but perhaps not the best 3 ever assembled. I think that's perhaps getting a little bit carried away. Another interesting stat here, though, is that Atletico Madrid have conceded 16 goals in the league. That's fucking insane, isn't it? They've only scored 60, mind, which is the 3rd highest in the league, but it's a long way off the 105 and 104 being scored by Barcelona and Real, which is insane. But 16 conceded. Barcelona, the next best defence with 29 conceded. Real Madrid, Villarreal, the next best defence with 31. Real Madrid on 32. Valencia way adrift after Gary Neville's little jaunt out there. So right down to the wire it looks like in Spain for who's going to win the league. Italy already won. Juventus are champions ahead of Napoli. They've only conceded 18 goals this year. This is crazy low number. As a comparison, I mean, the combined against Tottenham with 28 and us with 31 is the lowest. Nothing like, low under 20, which we're getting. Arsenal in the attack here at the moment. Don't think anything will happen though. So the interesting story there in Italy is Sassuolo, who've just come from fucking nowhere and found themselves right in the mix, splitting AC Milan and Lazio, with Fiorentina, Inter Milan, Roma, Napoli making up the remainder of like the top 6 there. Away up City on the attack. What's going on? Over the bar. Verona relegated. 12 points clear currently, 2 games left for Juventus. Germany, Pep Guardiola's just put them to their 4th title on the bounce, I think. So that shows you what level he took over there. Only conceded 16 goals by Munich this season, scoring 77. Not as many as Borussia Dortmund on 80. Only lost 2 games, 12 points clear by Munich. And this is where it gets ridiculous. Paris Saint-Germain, they've got a game in hand on everybody else who's played 37. They're on 36. And if they win their game in hand, which they will, they'll be 30 points clear. And that's ridiculous. 30 points would put two of the teams, because one of them's just dog shit, two of the teams in relegation. If you added 30 points to their total, both of those teams would be second or third in the table. That's how ridiculous 30 points clear is. They've only conceded 18, scored 97, only lost 2 games all season. Holland, we've got a nice end to the season coming up here with Ajax and PSV Eindhoven tied on 81 points, but again 21 points clear of third, which is Feyenoord. Only lost 2, scoring 80 odd goals each. So there's quite a few of the leagues around the world being totally and utterly dominated, and it almost seems like Leicester are one of the ones that have done it to us this year. Next year's Premier League season, as we've said a few times, haven't we, is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Leicester, Tottenham, Arsenal, City, United, arguably Liverpool and West Ham are definitely going to be in the mix. So there's 7, and West Ham potentially, Southampton potentially, maybe Everton if they can pull their finger out. And I don't know, Burnley or someone going off current form are all going to be in the mix, and it's going to be well interesting. And who do we think is going to be the first manager sacked next season? If Louis van Gaal's still here, I think Louis van Gaal would be a big favourite if we didn't start off like a house on fire. If Arsenal struggle, then that could be... Because you look, basically everyone's got new managers at the moment, haven't they? I mean, is Martinez going to see the season out? Maybe they change it at the end of the season. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're so poor at the moment. Interesting. Let's see how they line up, I reckon, first before we decide who's going to be the first out the door. But I reckon Wenger might not be a bad shout, for someone to... Will he get sacked or would he walk? That's an interesting point, I think. So anyway, that's a little look through today's papers. There's not too much, nothing really groundbreaking being written by anybody. Everyone's more interested in talking about Leicester, a little bit about the steroids, a little bit of, obviously the season's coming to an end. We've only got next weekend, so people are starting to wind that season down. I would expect from next week. Next week's going to be dominated by the end of season games, but I think people are going to start to be looking at the summer competitions. I nearly said Euros then, but that's a bit Eurocentric, isn't it? Because there's 3 competitions over the summer. Copa America, Olympics, and the Euros. There's probably another one as well that I've not even thought of, but 3 major tournaments over the summer. Tons of football. The transfer rumours are probably going to be... In fact, you know what? That'll be next week, won't it? Just transfer rumour fucking tastic. Transfer rumours are going to be out in full effect. Euro talk and this, that and the other. So that is that. I've been thinking, and you guys let me know what you think. I would like to join the 92 Club. That's a proper geek affiliation, isn't it? Football geek affiliation. The 92 Club. The 92 Club, for those of you who don't know, is an organisation. It's a club. I don't think they charge for membership. It's a club that you have to prove your attendance at all 92 UK English League clubs. You don't have to do it in a season. You can take your time and do it, but you have to list the dates and all that of what the grounds that you've been to. I've been to 21 of the 92 at the moment, so I might start from next season. There's something I want to do with Manchester clubs, which I'm going to be doing probably... It might take me up till Christmas to do. I'm going to try and box it off as fast as I can from the start of the season, though, and that's going to be visiting different clubs around Manchester, non-league clubs, so I am doing that from the start of the season. That's going to be the likes of FC, Droylsden, Hyde, Gloucester, etc., all those type of clubs. And then from finishing that, I want to then try and do the 92. So how do you think I should do it in a video? Do you think I should just record little snippets of it and do maybe a monthly update of right now we are on 26, 27, 28, got X amount to go, here's the fixtures for next season, next week that I can maybe have a look at and try and plan it. It's not just about driving to the grounds either, because you could probably do that in a week, I reckon, where you literally just drive to the ground, take a photo outside the ground, bosh. No, you have to actually watch a live first team game, which is, I had more than 21 on, but because it's only first team games that count, I had to remove quite a few, so I am only on 21, although I've been to probably another 10 of the grounds watching underage games, academy games or stuff like that. So I'm on 21 first team games of the 92, and I would like to see if you've done it as well. Actually, if you've done it or you know anyone who's done it, how long did it take you? Because I am going to have a cracking go at this. It's probably going to need a little bit of planning, I'd probably get the Northwest and the Yorkshire ones done pretty easily, I reckon. But it's going to be the London ones in it, because there's about fucking 20 teams in London. That's going to be the nightmare one. And I reckon every trip to London, probably going to have to get 2 or 3 to make it worth the trip every time. So that's what I'm planning anyway. At some point next season, I'm going to probably start that. I don't know how to do the series, whether I just film them and bank them and then maybe release like a 20-30 minute long video of, I mean, it might even be longer. I have no idea what I'm going to do at all those clubs, but just something to say the date, the game, and the stadium, and you know, this is number X on the 92 journey. Or do I maybe update it monthly and go, boom, this month I managed to get to 6 games, and then here's those clips, and then when I've done them all, maybe pull out the best ones. I've got a couple of mates who are interested in going around with us and doing it, which is good because it's better than going on my own, carrying a camera around like an absolute weirdo. So if you like the idea of that, let me know in the comments, and anything else and all that sort of shit. Yeah, you know the fucking drill. See you in a bit. Laters.